Okay, I'll stop. Where is the button? Is this the right one? This is the right one. Hello, everybody. Oh, I always forget to turn back on. There's the music. Also, look who's going to join us today. He's actually, I didn't know if he was going to show up for the stream. Come here, bud. Newt's here. My cat, Newt. Hello, everyone. Also, I should probably turn on the light so I don't look like a weird, like, blue monster. Hi, come on up and say hi. Say hi, bud. Come and say hi to everyone. Everyone's waiting on you. Yeah. There you go. Here he is. Here's Newt. Everyone say hello. For those of you who may be new here, this is my cat, Newt. Also, I apologize in advance if I'm mumbling a little bit. I had a dentist appointment earlier today, so this part of my face is just starting to become unnumb. so if I start to go like during the middle of the stream, you know why. But yeah, hello everybody. Welcome. That's partially why I'm late, because I was also doing that and finishing up some stuff for us from GameSpot stuff. Oh yes, hi bud. Who's a good kitty? Yes, you are. Can you hear him purring? Wait, let's see if I turn off the music, can you hear him purr? What's that? I don't know how well you can hear him. But he's purring really loudly. Hey bud, come here to that mic. Listen to that. Isn't that nice? Isn't that so nice? I always love it when a cat purrs. Oh yes, rub up against the mic. That's what everyone wants. Don't you love it? Don't you love it when a cat purrs? Just he is so purring right now. But hello everyone. And by the way, I haven't said hi yet, but and see Corey, good to see you. The Curious Magician, Unclaimer, Don Nichols, Goes to the Gozerian, Super Desi, the Storyteller, Cameron, Rowan Crump, Lainey Ruth, Owen, Lewis Darden. Who's up? Chief Dancing Ostrich. It's been a hot minute since I saw you. Bilbo Bach, it's good to see you. Vale, good to see you, my friend. It's been a hot minute since I've seen you in chat. It's good to see you. Cyberquaker, good to see you. And yay, you finally started disco. Awesome, Cyberquaker. We'll be able to talk about it, hopefully, if you stop by and see me in Mission Chicago. Upload another Harry Potter parody. Awesome. Yeah, for those of you who don't know, I'm just going to address this right up front. As you can tell by the title of the stream, this title of the stream is Only Kind Things, which Newt is currently contributing to, right, bud? The reason is, and I'll just say this up front, this week's been a bit rough in terms of things that I've had to do and write. Most of you probably saw the video that went up on Monday that was about J.K. Rowling and a particular streamer who I'm not going to even just talk about directly right now. And like I said, I think that video was in good faith. The video went over well. Most people understood my criticisms, but it was about a difficult topic, and obviously that topic has gotten heated in other areas alongside that streamer and that topic and all of that stuff related. So I don't really even want to touch that at this point. I have opinions on it. Maybe I'll share them at some point, but for right now, I honestly don't want to talk about that anymore at the moment. Again, that's not hating on anybody, and like I said, if I share my opinions, it's not going to be like someone sucks or someone's great. It's going to be, here's my thoughts on this, and it's not directed at anyone in terms of a ill-fated way. But I don't want to talk about it, so we'll just sort of skip that a little bit. And then also the other thing that I will quick mention too is that for those of you who haven't heard, I do work for GameSpot. I do like videos and write articles for them. And today there was the announcement of the Harry Potter video game. They did a PlayStation State of Play of it, and GameSpot was very kind and supportive in me writing an article for them that basically went over J.K. Rowling and the harm that she's done to the trans community, as well as her connection to gender-critical groups in the U.S. and U.K. and the harm that they cause. It's stuff that we basically talked about in a bunch of my videos. A lot of my videos, it's basically the video and article. Thank you, Corey, for sharing the article. I appreciate it. The article is basically correlating a lot of research that I've done over the past few years that have appeared in a bunch of my videos, but sort of all placing it in one place. And GameSpot was really wonderful in letting me share that article. There was no issues or problems with me sharing it. The only issue they had was how long it was, and that's a Jessie problem just in general, right? That Jessie's things are always way too long, that I write like freaking Stephen King, though not as well as him. So I will just say this. Most of you, I'm assuming, watching this already probably, since you're in my audience, probably already know a lot of the stuff in the article. But if you don't or want a good starter information pack on that, that article I think is very informative. Please go share out that article. I'm really proud of it. It's something I think is really helpful, and I hope it helps people learn about issues affecting the trans community, especially in the gamer sphere, which many people don't encounter. Encounter Star Trek all that, or Star Trek, encounter trans issues all that much. But I don't want to talk about that anymore because I've had that on my brain the past week because I've been writing that and then also the other stuff that I did the video on earlier. So from there, for the rest of the stream, let's just talk about kind and wonderful things. I already see people asking wonderful, kind things in the stream, in which I'll respond to. So yeah, let's just talk about nice, fun things. It's been the past few streams of all folk had some sort of mention of harder stuff. So please go support that article. Please go support that video if you so choose. Both of those. Beyond that, thank you just for your continued support, for being lovely, and let's just talk about fun stuff for the next 40 minutes or so. Normally I start this at 6. By the way, for those of you who are new here, Adrian, yes, I'll answer that actually right now, Adrian. And I also saw a super chat, but before I get to those real quick, for those of you new here, welcome new friends. Number 2, this is my live chat. I usually for about an hour every single Thursday, I just sort of talk to the stream, answer questions that you, the stream, have for me. I will say super chats are appreciated because this is basically my full-time work. It is how I predominantly support myself and I'm able to pay the bills and all that fun stuff. So super chats are appreciated. I do try to answer and give people hearts who do super chats. But beyond that, otherwise, I just appreciate you here. I try to balance as best I can. Balance looking at the super chats and the chat as well. This one's going to be a little bit shorter, like I said, just because of the amount of work I've had to do this week and also the fact that I'm still recovering from the dentist. So a little bit shorter today, hence why we started a little bit late. But otherwise, let's just talk and see what everyone's going to do, wants to talk about. But Adrian, I will answer your question real quick, but I want to quick answer Stuart Aubrey's super chat earlier. Heart, thank you so much for your super chat, Stuart Aubrey. You said, y'all, I just discovered Avery Brooks' album on YouTube. He is the emissary of soul. Love you, Jessie. Oh my gosh. I did not know actually Avery Brooks had an album at all. Avery Brooks obviously played Cisco in Deep Space Nine. I did know that he played music, that he was a big music person. And I didn't know that he was that he had a solo album. I'm hoping, and this isn't by no means a spoiler because I don't know ahead. I'm all caught up on Picard. I got access to the first 3 episodes of Star Trek Picard, and I won't say spoilers for those 3 episodes if you haven't seen them yet. But I only got access to those 3. I haven't had a chance to see anything beyond the first 3 yet. But I'm hoping that Cisco appears in season 2 of Picard. There are hints within the season, but I have not had a chance to. I have not had a chance to see further, so I don't know. I'm hoping that there will be. Adrian asked, you said, Adrian, what did you ask? So Jessie, will you review Turning Red? It's a nice movie. Yes. So I have a video coming out tomorrow that patrons have already seen. But I actually wrote because I saw Turning Red, and while I have issues, I don't think it's my favorite Pixar movie. I wanted to talk about it in the terms of sex and sexuality and prepubescent sexuality, or not prepubescent, pubescent sexuality, because I think it really depicts it honestly and well. And I thought the pushback against the way the movie depicts sexuality by certain groups and certain parents kind of revealed a lot about what the film was itself trying to say. So I actually have written a short for Jessie video. Hopefully it'll be under 20 minutes. We'll see if that actually turns out to be the case. But the script is written. I'm going to film it tomorrow, and I'm going to try and get it out next week. So I will not be reviewing Turning Red, but I will be doing a video essay analysis of Turning Red. So if you're looking forward to that, I think it'll be a fun video that'll hopefully be out by next Friday. So yeah. Stunk Corgi, thank you so much for your super chat. Heart to you. You said, it's a really solid article you wrote for GameSpot, by the way. Your content is keeping me distracted at work today. LOL. Busy at Brewski on me. Oh, thank you very much, Stunk. I'm sorry that you need distraction at work today, but I'm glad to provide that distraction. And thank you for your kind words about the GameSpot article. I'm honestly very proud of that article. Like I said, we don't need to talk about what's the specifics of it. But I am very proud of that article. And again, if you can support it, I would be very, very appreciative, because it is something that means not a lot to just me, but I think just the information that's in it is something that I think a lot of people in the trans community would like to get out there as far as possible. And I'm certainly by no means the only one saying it, but I hope that me putting it on a GameSpot will help it reach an audience that it normally wouldn't. So, Chloe, thank you so much. You said, Harry Potter fans, you got to separate art from the artist. Me, okay, she's a terrible writer. We'll leave that aside, but you're not necessarily wrong. I will say, Sean, the YouTuber Sean, who does a fantastic job. He's been doing wonderful work over the past few years. But he just released a video, I think last week or 2 weeks ago, about J.K. Rowling and analyzing her work in Harry Potter. Excuse me. And I would highly recommend it if you have not seen it. Like, go watch. I mean, go watch all of Sean's stuff. But in particular, his Harry Potter video was particularly wonderful. And Super Desi, thank you so much for the super chat for paying for Newt's appearance. He's still right here. He's right here on my lap. Hi, bud. He's doing his like weird. He's just, for some reason, he always likes to like lie down, but also stay up at the same time. He's just a weirdo cat. I look up Avery Brooks. I will, Stuart Aubrey. I will check that out because Avery Brooks seems like an interesting human being, to be honest. Thank you, Stuart Aubrey, for your next super chat. I appreciate that. Ice Age. Why would you say that, Miss Wicked Wolf? Ice Age turned 20? God, I saw Ice Age in the theater. I don't think I've seen any of the Ice Age sequel movies. There's been like a bunch of them, I know. I have only saw the original Ice Age. But I remember watching it a bunch. I had a science teacher in high school who, whenever he was tired and didn't want to teach, which he was near retirement, so was decently often, he would always toss on Ice Age because it's scientific. It's about the Ice Age. I saw Ice Age like 5 times throughout my high school career, it's a good movie. The original Ice Age is like a solid film. Like I said, though, I haven't seen any of the other ones after that. So I heard there's like mixed, like there's some of them are decent, but I don't really know. Black cats are the best. I agree. We're a mermaid. Black cats are the best. Also, they're Star Trek associated. A black cat appears in the Star Trek episode Cat's Paw. So really, if you don't have a black cat, then you're not a true Star Trek fan, is what I'm saying. I don't even know what Data's cat Spot was. And then there's Grudge, obviously, too, who's just a queen in Star Trek Discovery. So there's a lot of cats in Star Trek, is what I'm saying. There was another cat, too, I believe. Oh, Neelix, the cat, Neelix. That, Star Trek Voyager. He was the character who was on Next Generation. Oh my god. It's gonna bother me. The character who appeared on Next Generation, Barclay, he had a cat in Star Trek Voyager named Neelix. So there is thank you, Sweet Swish Fish got it there. So yeah, there's actually a decent amount of cats in Star Trek. Olivia Yates, heart to you. Thank you, my friend. You said, hello, your friendly independent bookstore owner recommends this little awesome book. We had a little real estate problem by Kill Finestra, and chat only has so much space, so here's where I Google. Oh, okay. I will copy and paste that into my Google search. Thank you very much, my friend Olivia. That's so nice. And by the way, go support your local independent bookstores. I always try to buy from independent bookstores as best I can. Because they are the best and some of the best places to get books and the best places to find conversation and people to learn from. So please support independent bookstores. I mean, I don't love Barnes & Noble, but I go to Barnes & Noble. I get some books from Barnes & Noble, but I would much prefer to support independent bookstores if I can. So please give them a shout out as best you can. Grudge, I'm sure Grudge will be back, the Molly J, for season 5 of Star Trek Discovery. Ooh, I'm sorry if I'm spitting a little bit. My mouth is starting to become less numb from the dentist, so if I'm like spitting a little bit, it's because my mouth is like still half numb. Sam JB, heart to you. Thanks for all your creative work. Much love. Well, thank you, Sam. I appreciate you. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Thank you, friend. Thank you for the super chat. Let's see. 2 black. Yes, that's right, Catherine Lambeth. You are correct. There are 2 black cats. Yes. Hi, bud. Hi. What are you doing? Yes? You gonna stare at me like that? Or are you just gonna sniff my arm? Yeah, there we go. There we are, bud. Let's see. Are you going to talk about... Oh, yes. I can talk about this. By Renee Rails. Heart to you. Thank you so much for your super chat. I appreciate you. Are you going to talk any about the Strange New Worlds casting announcement? Yeah. So, if any of you hadn't heard, they cast James T. Kirk. They're currently filming Strange New Worlds Season 2, which is the Star Trek series focused on Captain Pike, the captain before James T. Kirk. Set about, I want to say 20 years, maybe a little less, before Captain Kirk takes over the Enterprise. they just recently announced, because it got leaked, that they cast an actor to play Captain Kirk, and I'm all here for it. I mean, the actor looks good. I don't think I've ever seen anything that he's appeared in, but he looks solid for the role, and their recastings of classic characters have been solid so far. I mean, Anson Mount as Pike has suddenly become like my favorite captain of all time. Ethan Peck as Spock has been amazing. Rebecca Romijn as Una. Hi, bud. And then they also recast Uhura, who I sadly forget the actor's name, who they cast as Uhura, and then also they cast an actor to play Kirk in the new season. And judging by their other recasts on Discovery and elsewhere, I'm all here for it. So we'll see how it goes. I only hope, and they've kind of already assuaged this they kind of already assuaged this in the announcement about Captain Kirk, but as long as he doesn't overshadow Pike, because number one, I love my boy Pike. I mean, he's only appeared in one season, so I don't want to get ridiculous, but Pike is just such a wonderful, in his one season appearance, and Anson Mount himself as a person is such a wonderful representation of a positive, constructive masculinity. Like, don't get me wrong, Kirk and Picard and Sisko all are wonderful characters as well, and could all be, to a varying degree, seen as role models. But they also all had kind of an element of them that kind of fell into the more I don't even know. They had issues that like kind of aligned with some of the things that we talk about with issues with masculinity, how masculinity is sometimes presented in television. Like Kirk was a ladies' man, sometimes objectified women in a lot of ways. Picard was very standoffish and isolated himself. Sisko was in the morally great Deep Space Nine just in general, so he had a lot more problems, but that's what made his character interesting. So that's not a knock against Sisko by any means. He's probably one of the more interesting captains. Regardless, Pike, though, what I really love about Anson Mount's Pike is that he struggles with stuff. He's not like a perfect person. He's definitely showed that he prejudged people, like he prejudged Voq, or Ash Tyler, I should say, in season 2. But he's quick to understand that and break that down and get rid of his prejudices. And he's such a wonderful, just constructive, kind, positive masculinity, and I absolutely love his character for that. And I'm just so excited to see more of Anson Mount, as long as with his sexy Pike beard. So I hope that Kirk coming into season 2 will not take away from Pike, because I want it to be Pike's show, ultimately, at the end of the day, along with the rest of the main cast. So I'm excited to see Kirk. I just want him to overshadow Pike. But of course, he will play, obviously, a prominent role because it is Kirk. And then I see some other super chats here, by the way. Let me just get to them. Hi, I'm Night. Big love for Black Cats. Oh, Nightingale. Heart to you, my friend. Thank you so much. Love to you. And then let's see. Etherin, thank you so much for your super chat. Heart to you. Apologies if I said your name wrong. But and thank you for the Black Cat picture. That's lovely. I appreciate it. Your Magnus Archives video made me get into the podcast. Now I'm making a Jurgen Leit hate rant videos. Jurgen Leitner hate rant videos. Play with my friend. That's lovely. I love that. For those of you who don't know, one of my favorite podcasts of all time, and it's a horror podcast. I've talked about it numerous times on stream. Magnus Archives. I love the Magnus Archives. If you look for a good horror podcast, you cannot do better than the Magnus Archives. I've talked about it numerous times on stream, so I'll just direct you to the video I did on it. But it's my favorite podcast. I love listening to. I miss it because I'm trying to find a horror podcast that's like it. I'm starting Archive 81 soon, the podcast, not the show, because I just need a new horror thing to fall asleep to at night. Because I love not fall asleep to. I love listening to a horror podcast right before I go to bed, or a horror story, because it's like right when you're feeling scary, and it's like the scariest moment. You just lie in bed and get to be creeped out a little bit. I like that before I go to bed. I know I'm weird that way, but for me, I kind of like it. So. Is it going to be Lieutenant Kirk off the ferry? I don't know, Super Desi. The image that they showed shows him as Captain's Yellow, but he does have a different ship's, like, comm badge. But it could just be he's wearing yellow for being in command. So he still could be a lieutenant, possibly as lieutenant. So. Are Jedi Knights allowed to use email? Yes, as long as there are no Ha! That's a good one, Gozer. I like that one. That's funny. That's actually really funny. I might use that. That's actually really good. Let's see, Catherine and Beth, heart to you. I appreciate you. It was good talking to you earlier. You said, since I'll be starting my official manager position in a couple weeks, what are the best episodes to see Kevin Pike's leadership style in action? I mean, it's hard to pick with specific ones because it's kind of like an amalgamation of them all. I actually did a video on Pike's leadership style. So there's not like one episode where I'm like, oh, Pike did this. There's just like moments throughout the entire season because Discovery is a much more serialized show. So I did a video on Pike, if you want to check it out. Go check out my video on Pike, and that'll sort of explain my thoughts on Pike and his sort of version of leadership that I think is so wonderfully positive and constructive. So I would highly recommend it. But let's see. And by the way, yes, congratulations on your promotion, Catherine. Let's see. But what was... Oh, no, D. Atkins. At D. Atkins, you retracted your message, but I actually wanted to address it next because you just said thank you for inspiring me and that you inspired to make your own video content. I just want to say, D. Atkins, I hope your video content is amazing. I'm honored to have inspired you, and I really hope that you do amazing work and just trust yourself and trust your voice. But I don't know why you retracted the message, but I hope you... I wish you well, my friend. See, just catching up here. D. Howard, heart to you, my friend. Thank you very much for your super chat. You said, Jessie, where do you get your Trek uniforms? They all look amazing. I'm hoping to get a Strange New World uniform if they end up selling them. So I usually get mine. Unfortunately, you have to be careful because you want to make sure you're buying from like good sellers because a lot of them are from less reputable places. But most of my uniforms I get from either Etsy, which Etsy is good. Generally, Etsy, you're not going to go wrong with buying uniforms on Etsy. So predominant amount of my uniforms I get from Etsy. And then the other parts are from eBay. And that's where you have to be a little bit more careful and just check where you're buying it from. But eBay has a good amount of Star Trek uniforms, especially right after they come out for cosplay purposes. But Etsy would be where I would check first. Go and check Etsy for good uniforms. And also on Etsy, you'll find like people making like specific custom ones that aren't like directly specific uniforms, but are kind of like their own amalgam uniforms that are really cool. So I would recommend Etsy is like the predominant place to get your Star Trek uniforms. That's where I get most of mine. I would say about like 75% of my closet is from Etsy, maybe 60, somewhere in that range. And then the rest is from eBay, from different sellers on eBay. Oh, Jay Gray, thank you so much. Sending you love as well. You are absolutely wonderful. Oh, that's awesome, Cyber. I don't have a dress uniform. I need to get a dress uniform, Cyberquake. I don't have one. I should get one. Oh, that's awesome, Rowan Crump. I loved Coda. If anyone hasn't seen Coda, you totally should. Coda was one of my favorite movies of last year. It's a movie it's called Child of Deaf Adults, and it's a coming of age movie about a kid who her entire family, her brother, her mother, and her father are all deaf, and she's actually able to hear. And her parents are fishermen. And so the movie just sort of like goes over the struggles of what it's like to be a child of deaf adults, but also the caring. It doesn't sugarcoat anything, but it also shows the love and caring between the family. It's a really, really great movie. And if you have not seen it, it is a true wonderful film that I highly recommend. It was easily one of my favorite films of last year. Cannot recommend it enough. So. Jesse, what's your opinion on Keo from Star Wars Squadrons? They're my favorite thing of MB rep so far. So to be fair, I did not play a bunch of Star Wars Squadrons as a storyteller. I own it, and I played the first few levels of it. But I liked it in VR. I played it in VR. But I like those sort of like flight simulators, I guess you would call them. Like that sort of like kind of gameplay, like X-Wing, TIE Fighter games. Aren't really my kind of games. I like them for like a short bit, but I just can't play them for any long period of time. So I actually didn't really get very far, and so I don't really have a huge opinion on Keo from Squadrons, unfortunately. I was really glad to see a non-binary character in Star Wars, but I don't have much of an opinion, to be honest, unfortunately. Just nothing against the game. The game, I from what I played, it was really, really fun. And for people who like those games, I'm sure it was great. But for me, it just wasn't one that I resonated with too much, unfortunately. Oh, Jordan Long, well, thank you for stopping by and saying hello. Sending you love, my friend. Heart to you. You are absolutely lovely, and I appreciate you. Chillin' Chillin' Squirtle. Ooh, I didn't mean to scare you, but I scared you with my clap. Chillin' Squirtle. I just want to say, love your name, Squirtle. Best Pokemon. This is it. This is what Jessie's gonna go down for. But Squirtle, best Pokemon, hands down. Period. Full stop. There are no arguments. We will not accept any arguments on this channel. Squirtle's the best Pokemon, hands down. But anyways, Chillin' Squirtle. I just want to say that because I love your name and your profile pic. Squirtle's the best. You said recently found your channel and have been watching a lot of your videos, loving it so far. Well, thank you, Chillin' Squirtle. I appreciate it. Thank you so much for the super chat, if I could speak. And I appreciate that, and I hope you enjoy the channel, my friend. Let's see. I'm halfway through the article you've written for Harry Potter, J.K. Rowling, the Hogwarts Legacy game. This is McLeod 2692. But I have to ask, does it honestly make one that much of a bad person if you buy the game? So, like I said, I don't want to talk too much about this during the stream. But to answer your question, I actually answer that in the article. The statement that I make in the article is, it is okay to buy the game. There's nothing wrong with buying the game. The only thing that I think, and this is something I said about everything to do with Harry Potter in general, I do not consider it to be wrong to buy the game. Other people would disagree with me, and that's okay. However, what you have to do is acknowledge what it supports, wrestle with that fact, and just at least be aware of it. And if you do play the game and talk about it, at least always try to platform and talk about trans people as well whenever you do. Like, if you write on Twitter being like, this game was fun, but also here's some trans information, share my article, share other people's articles. It doesn't have to be about promoting me. The thing that I ask with anything to do with J.K. Rowling is that you learn and educate yourself and understand what Rowling has done and what harm she has done. I personally would prefer people don't support any works of Harry Potter as much as I love it, but I'm also not here to tell people how to feel about it, and I'm not here to tell you not. If you're asking me for my opinion on what you should do, I would say don't support the game. At the very least, buy it used if you can. But I'm also not going to tell you it's wrong, like you're a bad person or you're wrong to buy the game. I just ask that you educate yourself and learn more. That's the main thing, and then also try to promote trans people in the face of that. And this is something that I spoke deeply. This is something I spoke with the people at GameSpot about. Sorry, now we're talking about this, and I apologize. I won't spend too much on it. But this is just something that I spoke to the people at GameSpot about. Is the one benefit of Rowling being the person to discuss who is causing this anti-trans hate. She is using her platform, her immense platform, for a lot of harm, and so the benefit does definitely not outweigh the cost, because she's doing more harm than the good that could come out of this situation. But if there is any good to come out of her doing this, it is the fact that she has opened the door for discussions about trans people to appear in other areas that they normally would not reach. Because normally trans issues would be siloed into politics, where trans people are often vilified and used to promote, right-wing causes or harmful causes, sort of vilified and looked down upon and scaremongered about in order to promote toxic political backlash. Or we're only spoken about in, like, queer affirming spaces, spaces that are already fairly aware of trans people, affirming of trans people, discuss trans people. The one benefit of what Rowling has allowed us to do is to create a space to talk about trans issues when in areas that it wouldn't normally. So the fact that I got to write such a long article about trans issues on GameSpot of all places, which is a gaming website, I think is a unique opportunity that is provided by this to use a platform that normally would not discuss these issues to reach an audience that normally wouldn't be exposed to them. Again, it does not outweigh the harm that Rowling has caused, but it is at least some good that can be gleaned out of the situation. Yeah. So hopefully I'm contributing to that in my way. and hope that it also leads to other creators and people feeling emboldened and comfortable to do the same, because we need it. And yeah, so. And April Shadows Heart to you, thank you so much. I appreciate your super chat. You said, much love, BIPOC trans channel shoutouts. Cat Black would be one. I love Cat Black. Khadija Mboy. Apologies if I can say her name wrong. Khadija, I know how to say. Mboy, I know I mispronounced her last name. Khadija is wonderful. I've spoken to her numerous times, and we've spoken privately and publicly, and she's an absolutely phenomenal creator. I don't necessarily know if she considers herself trans, but she does consider herself, themselves. Apologies. See, this is me screwing up, and I'm non-binary myself. Non-binary, I believe Khadija uses they, them pronouns. So I would also point you towards Khadija as well. Trying to think more off the top of my head, because I know I follow a bunch, but those are the two creators that I immediately think of when I think of platforming. Bellamy, who is often in our chat. I don't know if Bellamy is here, but Bellamy is also a fantastic creator that you should also check out, who does fantastic work as well. Yeah, those are the three people that I would highly recommend right off the top of my head. So. Let's see. Been watching Cat for years. Yes, Khadija just did put Petite Flower. Khadija just did put out a new video this week. I've been waiting for Khadija to put out a video for a while. They sort of paused doing videos to focus on their mental health as well as to work on bigger videos, which, by the way, I'll say it here. I am going to talk about it more explicitly in an upcoming video. But in the next few months, I'm going to be not stopping doing videos. I'm going to be slowing down the timetable for my videos so that I can do them bigger and better in the near future. So I'm just going to say that up front. I'm still going to be doing reviews and stuff, so that's not going to go in live chats. But I am my next 4 videos that I have planned, and I have 4 videos planned at the moment, are all really big. Sex and Star Trek Part 2 being one of them, and then a video on James Gunn, and then a couple other videos that I have that are also that I'm keeping in my pocket, but they are also big ones, and the script has already been mostly written. And they're big videos that I'm wanting to do big things with. And because of that, it's going to take me longer to make them. So I might be just taking longer to make those, but we'll talk about that. It's not going to be instantaneously. I think it's going to be a month or 2 before I get to that point, because there's still other videos that I want to do, like my Turning Red video and a few other things that I'm planning on doing in the near future. But some of the bigger videos might take a little bit more time, but we'll be talking about that when I get there. So. AJC, good news for me. It looks like I potentially have a summer internship, another one for fall, just waiting for official. Oh, that's amazing. Congratulations, AJC. Also, I think I missed a super chat, but AJC, that's amazing. No, okay, I didn't miss a super chat, but there's a new one now. Shireen, thank you so much. Heart to you, my friend. I appreciate you. You said, I agree 100% with you. It's a choice. I may add that make your choice for you, but educated knowing what repercussion your choice may or may not cause. I thank you for helping educate us. Oh, well, thank you, Shireen. Like I said, I don't think you're a bad person for buying the game or honest to God, I'll be honest with you. If we had been able to take Rolling away from it, and just like completely remove her from the discussion, looking at the Harry Potter game, it looks awesome. And also the creators are, at least some of the creators in it, are trans supportive. They try to add a transgender character creator to the game, which is awesome. But it's a complicated situation. So yeah, I think just educating yourself is the biggest thing, and wrestle with it. Wrestle with what it means. And I think that's at the very least what I think is the bare minimum. That's what we should demand everyone do, if you wish to be in support of trans people. I would say going the extra mile would be not buying the game at all. Some people would also say that that's the bare minimum. I would say that is what I would prefer, but no means wish to dictate. That's my opinion. Not all trans people would agree, because we're not a monolith. And there are also trans people that are wanting to buy the game because they're excited about the game, and that's also fair. So that's why it's a conversation. Inuyasha, apologies if I say your name wrong, but Inuyasha Kagomi, apologies. I'm I'm terrible with pronouncing names, so apologies for mispronouncing. He said, recently became a patron, Lizard Mage. Oh, well, yay, and love the vibe there and here and in your community at large. Thanks for being such a cool and kind and inspiring creator. Well, thank you very much. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Thank you, my new friend and new patron. I appreciate you, and thank you so much for the super chat, and thank you for being in the community. You are lovely and amazing, and I appreciate you. Mwah. Thank you so much. And apologies that I can't. Hopefully, I got it something close to correct, but apologies if I pronounced it wrong. Let's see. Petite Flower. Let's not talk about that creator. I appreciate people's opinions, and I know I see people talking about the creator that I talked about on Monday. I'll just say it, Vosh. Let's just leave that aside. Not that we can't talk about Vosh, but I would say if you do want to talk about that, go to that video's comment section, discuss there, and that's the place for my community to discuss that. Here, I just want to leave that out because it's a whole mess. And like I said, I have opinions that I shared a little bit on Twitter, and maybe I'll share elsewhere if I feel like I need to. But I just don't want to talk about it anymore. Honestly, honest to God, and I'll just say this. I'll just say this. This is why I don't want to talk about like creators like Vosh. Not because I have an issue with discussing people like Vosh or anything like that. And like I said, I don't hate Vosh. I don't love Vosh. I have opinions both positive and negative on him. But I just hate how it always becomes like a feud, like a personal feud thing in online spaces. I have so little caring for that. I have no desire, literally zero, for getting into YouTuber conflict, nonsense, drama, BS. I'm sure at some point I will. But it's why I like there are YouTubers that I like that have done like response videos to me. I just ignore that and all that sort of thing. It's just like I don't care. I just don't care. There are larger issues for me I think worth discussing than YouTuber drama. I mean, it does wonders for building the platform because this heavens knows YouTube loves its drama. I just have so little interest. I have so little interest. And so if and when I ever discuss creators like that, like I did on Monday, it is always just to talk about a broader issue with that person as an example and not using that person, not condemning that person or hating on that person. There are YouTubers that I dislike. Like actively so. Vosh is not one of them. I have issues with Vosh, but again, positives and negatives. But I won't talk about them. If I do bring up a creator, it's because I think there is nuance to be found, and neither are they the only reason I wish to talk about something. Because I'm just so disinterested in that stuff. I really don't care. I really don't care, and I don't want to talk about it. You know? So if I talk about people like that, then it's because I want to talk about the nuance of the situation. And I'll leave it there. I'll leave it there for now. Jordan Long, heart to you. Thank you so much for your super chat. You said, you give me so much hope for the potential good that social media offers. Keep it kind, keep it excellent, and keep being yourself. I can't stay, but I really wanted to thank you for all you. Oh, Jordan, thank you so much. I appreciate that, my friend. Thank you so much for your super chat. That is really, I appreciate that very, very much. Thank you. I mean, social media, the way it is built now, likes to promote infighting, toxicity, and conflict, and removal of nuance. That's what things like Twitter do. YouTube has its own specific problems in that arena, but that's what social media does. But I think even within that, while I do not think the way social media is currently built is built to best promote kindness, I think we still can use it for kindness. We still can use it to build positive and kind and caring communities. And I'm honored by this one. I am honored by all of you being kind and caring and loving, and how most of you are all amazing and wonderful. And in fact, pretty much all of you. I say most of you because I'm sure there's one of you who's watching who's like, I hate everybody. But I'm sure like most of you out there are lovely, amazing. And the people who engage here are absolutely amazing and wonderful. And I appreciate you all for being here and for being kind and amazing. So yeah, I appreciate it. Let's see, just catching up here. Raven, heart to you. Thank you so much for your super chat. You said, a stream of only kind things. Love it. You're such a positive, thoughtful person in community. I super appreciate all that you do. Well, mwah. Thank you so much. Mwah, 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 mwah. Thank you very much, Raven. Sorry, I didn't include a message in my super chat learning moment. Would you ever do a video on Spielberg's West Side Story and its version of Anybody's played by Iris Menas? Love your work. I have not actually seen Spielberg's West Side Story, so I couldn't answer that question, to be honest with you. Maybe. I mean, generally, what I do videos on are things that I watch, and I'm like, oh, this is inspiring me to watch it. Sometimes I do on things that like crop up that I'm like, oh, I have to talk about this because it's a trans-related issue or something relevant to something that I have expertise on that I think I can lend my voice to. But generally, most other stuff, like the Turning Red video I'm going to be writing, is just something that I'm like, oh, this interested me. Let's talk about it. And use an opportunity to talk about these things. So I couldn't answer your question about West Side Story, mostly because I haven't seen it yet. Yeah, I wouldn't be against talking about it. I'm assuming I don't know the character, but I'm assuming you're asking because the character's trans or non-binary. I don't know for sure, but possibly. And in which case, more than likely, if I don't talk about the movie specifically, like I do a whole video on it, I'm sure I'll mention it at some point as part of like a trans representation or trans discussion video at some point down the line. I do plan on watching West Side Story. Because I like to watch all like the big movies. In fact, I think the Oscars are this weekend. I think there's 1 or 2 movies that I have to watch before the Oscars this weekend. Because I try to watch all the Best Picture nominations before it happens. Every year when the Oscar nominations get made, even though I don't think the Oscars always nominate the best movies, sometimes they do. There's only been 2 years in my life where my actual favorite movie was actually won the Oscar. Only 2 years in my life. Actually 3. That's a lie because Return of the King as well. But Shape of Water. And what was it? There's Return of the King, Shape of Water. There's one more that actually was like, oh, that was my favorite movie and it won. I'm going to blank on it. Now it's going to make me upset and I need to say it. Oscar-winning Best Pictures. I mean, yes, I agree with you, Adrian. Turning Red could have been gayer. I mean, all of Pixar could be gayer. I mean, movies could just be gayer in general. Parasite, that was the other one. Shape of Water and Parasite. Shape of Water, Parasite, and Return of the King, Lord of the Rings, Return of the King, those are the only 3 movies that I was like, those are my favorite movies of this year. Moonlight also too, but I believe Moonlight was also the same year that, oh God, why am I blanking on the name of the movie? Because I loved Moonlight. Moonlight is a great movie, but there was another movie that year that didn't even get nominated, and it should have. What's the name of it? I'm going to recommend it. I'm going to say it because you all should watch it. Sorry to Bother You. Sorry to Bother You. I think the same year that Moonlight won was also the same year that was the same year that movie Sorry to Bother You came out. And Sorry to Bother You was far and away my favorite movie of that year. If any of you have not seen Sorry to Bother You, go watch it because it is freaking fantastic. Oh, AJ Hart, don't be like that. I'm gonna hide this user, but AJ, we don't need to have not meanness here. All right. Well, I'm sorry that you feel that way, but apologies. Yeah, don't need to be bringing that in here. But don't focus on AJ. Send AJ a heart, and we'll move on. Because I don't want to have we're not going to respond with hate in my streams. We can or with anger. Like, not saying anger isn't justified in certain situations, but we will not respond to people being jerks with justifiable anger in our streams. You get what I'm trying to say. Kindness only in the Jessie streams. That's not to say kindness is the only thing that's always required, but in my streams, only kindness. Anyways, Sorry to Bother You. Great, fantastic freaking movie. You should go watch it. Moonlight's also great, but Sorry to Bother You was the movie that I think that was the same year, was there. Momo, I'm thinking about doing video essays. Do you have any tips? Make them less than 2 hours. Don't pull a Jessie. in all honesty, I actually, you know what? I'll do you better. I could give you some thoughts, but I actually think all the advice that I could give that would be immediately relevant. I can give you more intricate, but the best starting advice for writing video essays, I will say the YouTuber Zoe B did a great video on advice for starting video essayers. So if you want advice on how to write a good video essay, Zoe B, Zoebeee, 2 words, Zoe, Zoie, and then Beee. She did a fantastic video on how to do video essays. I would highly recommend Zoe B's content in general, but also her, but also that video in specific, because that's a great starter video. Other things that I would mention is just like follow your passions, especially at the beginning. Once you find you know what resonates with an audience here on YouTube and the algorithm and all that jazz, then you can maybe start like branching out into things that you think will be like more algorithm friendly or audience friendly, or once you see what your audience resonates with, build out for your audience. Because like I don't, you know, like talking about J.K. Rowling isn't a passion of mine. It's not something I really love, but I also understand it's relevant to the audience and something I have expertise on. But gender critical folks, not J.K. Rowling in particular. But I think especially starting out, to learn how to do this well, follow your passions. It's what I did initially. I mean, go back in my channel, and most of my early videos are on Star Trek for obvious reasons, because it helped me hone the craft and learn how to do this, but also like made sure I didn't burn out. So I would also give that as a recommended version. Recommended advice. You know what I'm trying to say. But Zoe B's video, I think, is a fantastic starting spot. So. Sorry, I'm making sure I didn't miss a super chat. Oh, I'm sorry. Cheese112. Apologies. I saw your super chat earlier. You said, have you played Star Trek Online? I have played a tiny bit of it, but not a bunch. I've read a bunch of the stories of Star Trek Online. And I think this writing in it is fantastic. And I'm sure the gameplay is great too, but for me, I just don't like many MMORPGs. They're just not my thing. Kind of like Star Wars Squadron stuff. I'm more of a platforming or first-person shooter, third-person action adventure, puzzle kind of person. MMORPGs, that sort of thing, generally don't work for me as much. But that's not anything against the genre. It's just a personal preference. But the writing in Star Trek Online and like the fan service in it and like the stuff that they do is amazing. Constantly, you know, like Kate Mulgrew, Mary Wiseman, Jerry Ryan, Sneaker Martin Green, like all the people that they get for that game is fantastic. It's wonderful. So I highly recommend Star Trek Online. But no, I have not played. I played it, but not a lot. I played maybe like 3 hours in total, but not much. Plonk, heart to you. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. That's an adorable little sticker. Also, there was something else. There was someone, I saw someone's message that I wanted to respond to, but I don't remember what it was. Oh, well, I'm sorry. Oh, McLeod, 2692, loved your back and forth about Splinter Cell yesterday, by the way. Yes, I did want to say that. I want a Splinter Cell game. I don't know why. Oh, I know why. There was a recent Splinter Cell book written by James Swallow, who writes a bunch of Star Trek novels. I'm a big Splinter Cell fan. My brother and I would play Splinter Cell a bunch when I was a kid. I mean, I'm not a big, like, military person, but those games in particular were great. I love stealth games. Instead, we don't get many good stealth games anymore. I think Hitman's, like, the closest, and even that's not exactly the kind of stealth that I love, but I still like the Hitman games. We don't get many stealth games anymore. Like stealth-focused games. There's games that have stealth in them, like Horizon Zero Dawn has stealth in it, but we don't get many stealth-focused games. And I miss Splinter Cell. And I've been listening to the audiobook, the Splinter Cell audiobook, just to get like a little dopamine, like member berries hit of Splinter Cell love. And I'm just like, oh man, I want a good Splinter Cell game. I know they're doing a reboot. I think Ubisoft announced a reboot, but Ubisoft, by the way, is also problematic. So there's that too. But I just want a Splinter Cell game. So bad. So bad. So bad. Also, I want a good Command and Conquer Renegade type game. But that's a different discussion for another day. Chillin' Squirtle, heart to you. Thank you so much for super chat. He said, have you heard of the YouTube channel Snapcube? She does funny gameplay and real-time fandoms of it. No, I have not. I will subscribe if you recommend them. Snaptube. I will check them out. Snaptube. Did I spell it? Snapcube, not Snaptube. Snapcube. I have subscribed. Oh, I like their art. Oh, wow. I really like some of their thumbnail art. Some of it's kind of okay, but there's some of this thumbnail art is really nice. I will check them out. Thank you very much, Chilling Squirrel. On a scale of Adam West to Ben Affleck, how camp do you like your Batman? Ooh, Marianne, thank you so heart to you. Oh, that's a good question. Kind of in the middle. Batman. So my perfect Batman is Batman the Animated Series, and I actually think Matt Reeves' Batman. And actually Michael Keaton might be closer. But I think somewhere in the middle of like if I had to like pick it like somewhere between Matt Reeves' Batman, Robert Pattinson's Batman, and Michael Keaton's Batman, like in the middle of those two, which would be basically Batman the Animated Series is my like favorite type of Batman. Where he's like mostly serious, like adult serious, but there's like campy weirdness to it too, especially through the villains. Like the Batman the Animated Series, like it can get dark, and it has dark episodes, and a lot of it's dark, and very kind of adult for that type of show. But then you get like the Joker being a weird nonsense person, and Harley Quinn being weird and nonsensical, and Riddler and all of them. So I would kind of place, I would say Batman the Animated Series is my favorite Batman period, and I think I like Robert Pattinson's Batman actually quite a lot. You know, issues with Matt Reeves' movie aside, I really actually enjoy that movie, even though I have issues with it. I actually really enjoy the Batman. But I think and I actually like the Batman more than I like Michael Keaton's Batman movie, Tim Burton's movie. But I think I prefer Michael Keaton over Robert Pattinson. Even though I like Robert Pattinson's movie more than I like Michael Keaton's. Because Michael Keaton's just like slightly unhinged in that movie, and I kind of like it because it kind of fits like Bruce Wayne, like he's just like hanging up. So like the first time you meet Bruce Wayne in that movie, he's like hanging upside down, and it's like, oh, you're a little off, aren't you, bud? And it kind of works really well for me. So I like Michael Keaton's Batman. I'm excited to actually see him back in the Flashpoint movie. It should be fun. Adam West is also great too. I mean, Adam West is phenomenal. I love Adam West movies, so that's not enough. But I think my favorite of the live action Batman is probably Michael Keaton. That feels right. Yes. I'm confident. No, I'm not. I'm confident in that. Michael Keaton, favorite Batman. Not my favorite Batman movie, but favorite Batman. Punk Rock Zoologist, and I'm gonna wrap out the stream soon because I need to go get some dinner. But I'll answer these super chats and a couple other people's things, and I gotta head out soon too because I gotta go eat. Oh, Dylan. Oh, wonderful that you came out as trans today. Congrats. Oh my gosh, Dylan. Mwah, mwah, mwah. I didn't see your message, but Dylan, everyone send Dylan some love for coming out as trans today. Dylan. And by the way, apologies, Dylan, if that's not the name that you wish me to use. I'm just using your profile name. But if that's something you wish me to use, I apologize. But, mwah, you are lovely. You said your streams are punk rock well. Just heard too, my friend. It's good to see you. Your streams are always a nice nim on my Friday lunchtimes, especially now out of field site counting weevils. Oh, it's good to see you, punk rock zoologist, my friend. Anthro Wobbly, you said, do you play Jedi Fallen Order? That's more your style of game, it seems. And I thought it was a great example of nerdy IP done right. Yes, I love Jedi Fallen Order. I did a stream of it a little while ago with Aeronok, actually. And I played the whole game and loved it. It's great. I'm very excited for the next one. But yeah, no, Jedi Fallen Order, very much my style of game. Like, very much my style of game. I love Jedi Fallen Order. Let's see. Jessie, do you ever... Plunk, you have given me a good opportunity to plug some stuff that I'll plug right here at the end here. Jessie, did you ever watch Babylon 5? Thoughts? Yes, I love Babylon 5. I watched it way back in high school, but I still own all of my DVD sets of it, and I adore that show. It's fantastic. One of the best science fiction shows ever written. And if I'm able to plug for all of you, starting Monday of next week, I've been doing a podcast with my friend Vera Wild, who does the Council of Geeks channel, who sometimes appears in the chat. She and I have been doing a podcast about Farscape. We're rewatching every episode of Farscape, but that just came to an end this week. So starting next week, we are beginning our rewatch. Well, my rewatch, her first time watching Babylon 5. So if you want to hear all my thoughts on every single episode of Babylon 5 as I go back through it, that I will be doing that starting next week, and the link is down below in the description. It says What the Frel, which is the Farscape podcast, but that same feed will turn into the Babylon 5 podcast. So if you go subscribe to that feed down below, that will become, starting on Monday, the Babylon 5 feed. So yeah, if you want to hear all my thoughts on Babylon 5, go subscribe to that podcast because I'll be talking about that soon. Thank you for giving me a chance for doing that. Just because there's a couple more super chats, I just want to quick cover them. Sean Piper sending more positivity your way, sending positivity to you. Mwah, mwah, mwah. And then Chloe, you missed my second super chat. I'm so sorry. Watch Conan Barbarian yet? No, that is this weekend, Chloe. That is the plan for this weekend. I'm going to watch it, I think, Sunday. Because I usually watch a movie Friday with a friend and then Sunday by myself. So Sunday is going to be probably going to be my Conan the Barbarian day. So that will happen this weekend. I'll let you know what I think about it. But I think that's it because I am getting hungry. Jessie is going to go get some stuff. Kian, heart to you. Thank you so much for your super chat. You said, hi, Jessie, you're awesome and super pretty, and it's really cool you're spreading love on your streams. I love keeping it wholesome on Twitter, so I respect you a lot. Mwah. Thank you very much, my friend. Mwah, 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 mwah. Woo. Quick announcements before I go. Tomorrow there will be a video up. It's already up for patrons. It's going to be on Nebula. It's going to be here. Please check it out. It'll be up at 10 o'clock. It's going to be kind of a harder video. And I'll just leave it at that. It's another harder video, but don't worry. The video after that will be much kinder. So there's been a few hard videos in a row and a few harder topics that I've been working on. But next video after this one will be much more fun. It'll be on Turning Red, but that'll be next week. Video going up tomorrow. Please check that out. It'll be up at 10 a.m. Saturday, doing drunk stream. So be here on Saturday for more drunk stream. Probably playing Horizon Zero Dawn, but we'll see what I'm end up feeling like. There's that new snowboarding game that I might end up playing too. Drunkenly playing a silly snowboarding game might be kind of fun. So either Horizon snowboarding game or whatever whim takes me on Saturday. So check that out. And please don't forget, please, if you can, share out the GameSpot article that I did. It is called J.K. Rowling's Anti-Transgender Stance and Hogwarts Legacy. So that is up on GameSpot. It is I think their current feature article. Please share that out. It would mean a lot to me, and I think a lot to a bunch of people that wish to hear that information be shared out, especially in the light of a lot of the words that J.K. Rowling has said. So please, if you can, share that out there, and I appreciate it very much. Amanda Stevens, thank you so much. I need to lose 2 more stones for my surgery from 4 stones already lost after me, and I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, Amanda. I send you love. Let's end the stream by sending Amanda love, and I appreciate the super chat, and I'm so sorry that that's happening. I know that that's an issue for a lot of people in terms of finding surgery. So let's send out the stream by sending Amanda love. I adore you, my friend. I adore all of you, my friends. You are lovely, amazing. I will see you all on Saturday. Don't forget to check out the video tomorrow, GameSpot article. Otherwise, I bid you a good adieu and have a wonderful evening, my friends.